for many, many years, and he served in so many different capacities, also encouraging the youth all the time and keeping our Vaishnav community together and doing so much in ISKCON. And Prabhu is also a disciple of His Holiness Giriraj Swami, and Prabhu's been away to India for many months. So welcome Prabhu to our Nama-Hatta. Thank you so much for joining us. And it is such a pleasure having Prabhu's wonderful association again. And also his Dharam Patni, his dear wife, her Grace Sukumari Mataji is also here with us. So let's give her a round of applause as well. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining us. And also thank you to our lovely Kirtan team, Chansan Prabhu, Shankarshan Prabhu, for your lovely rendition of Nrsingadev Pranam. Always starting our Nama-Hatta program with so much of enthusiasm. So I now hand you all over to His Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu, who we know is going to give us an absolutely amazing class. So let's give him another round of applause.
How are you all this evening? Well, it's really wonderful to be back here at the Mercy Namahatta. Very enthusiastic group of attendees. Wow, seeing devotees from Paddington. Hare Krishna, Krishna Kshetra. Hare Krishna. Very nice. Srila Prabhupada in Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And sometimes when things don't work out in the material situation, we get a little frustrated. Like, why isn't it working out? We tested it before and now it's not working out. But in the spiritual spheres, when something doesn't work out, what do we get a chance to do? We say Hare Krishna. So whether it works or it doesn't work, it's okay because Hare Krishna. As I was mentioning, starting to mention that Srila Prabhupada in one of his purports in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in describing Krishna's birth, he makes a very interesting point. He says that the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, indicates actually that very soon the Supreme Goddess of Fortune will appear. And who is the Supreme Goddess of Fortune? Srimati Radharani. So the purport to that statement of Srila Prabhupada is that Sri Krishna Janmashtami, even though celebrated with such pomp and extravagance, is really just a curtain raiser for the main event. And that is Sri Radhastami. So we're very, very happy to observe on the eve of Radhastami, which is coming on Sunday, this very wonderful event with you all. And I can see that what we started some years ago at Radha Temple is being carried on here. It's sort of a warm-up as well with all these wonderful sweets and cake offerings to Shishi Gaurnitai, Shishi Radhanath, Srila Prabhupada. So it's very wonderful that that tradition is going on. So this evening I thought to share some perspectives on Srimati Radharani, how we can prepare our consciousness to, or rather align our consciousness so that it is attractive, it is appealing to Srimati Radharani, so that Srimati Radharani will feel confident to take us, to pick us up and present us to Lord Krishna. Generally, there are two mudras or two hand gestures that the deity of Srimati Radharani in ISKCON temples have. One is like this, which is a blessing mudra, Ashirvad mudra, and another one is a dancing mudra or an offering mudra. So we want to be the recipient of both hand gestures. One is we want the blessings of Srimati Radharani, and we also want to be offered by her to her beloved Sri Krishna. So today we'll try and share some perspectives on that. Gopeshwari Mataji, what else is on the menu for today? In terms of, not the food menu, but the program menu.
Prabhu, after your class, we have 3 of our youth that have written a poem called Srimati Radharani.
Okay. And then thereafter?
Thereafter, we have the cake cutting and our Guru Puja and then dessert.
Okay. All right. So I thought to sing a very beautiful song written by Srila Rupa Goswami, which was very much loved by Srila Prabhupada. It's called Sri Radhika Stava, from Stava Mala of Srila Rupa Goswami. And Srila Rupa Goswami, incidentally, is one of the dearmost associates of Srimati Radharani. In his original, or in Krishna Leela and Goloka Vrindavan, Srila Rupa Goswami is known as Rupa Manjari. In some descriptions, the most intimate assistant of Srimati Radharani. So when he presents this very short poem or beautiful song in glorification of Srimati Radharani, we can appreciate that what's being presented in the song is a beautiful glorification and exposition of who Srimati Radharani is. So we'll try and sing this along. I haven't sung it in years, so please forgive me if there's any weirdness, mistuning or out of tuning. But the essence is by the blessing of Srila Rupa Goswami. So we'll read the song in translation and then we'll attempt to sing it. So Radhika Stava by Srila Rupa Goswami. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. O Radha, O Madhava's beloved. O you whom all the young girls of Gokul worship, all glories unto you, all glories unto you. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkrita Vrindaha Vipineshe. Please go higher. O you who dress yourself so as to make Lord Damodar love you more and more. O Queen of Lord Hari's pleasure grove, Vrindavan. Rishabhanu Dhadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Namita Vishake. O new moon arisen from the ocean of King Rishabhanu. O friend of Lalita, O whose virtues delight Vishaka. Karunam Karu Mai Karuna Bharite Shanaka Shanatana Varnika Charite. O most merciful goddess, O you whose divine qualities are sung by Sanak and Sanatan Kumaras, O most merciful Radha, please have mercy on me. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite, 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 Gokula Tarani Mangalamahite, Gokula Tarani Mangalamahite, Gokula Tarani Mangalamahite, Gokula Tarani Mangalamahite, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite, Radhe Damodarati Vardhanadeshe Hari Sutta Vrindaye Dineshe, Damodarati Vardhanadeshe Hari Sutta Vrindaye Dineshe, Damodarati Vardhanadeshe Hari Sutta Vrindaye Dineshe, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite, Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivraja Acharya Astuttara Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakun Radha Kund Giri Govardhana ki Shri Vrindavan Dhama ki Mayapur Navadvip Dhama ki Ganga Mai ki Yamuna Mai ki Bhakti Devi ki Tulsi Maharani ki Samvekta Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
In the very first Radhastami festival in ISKCON, 1966 in New York, Srila Prabhupada gave initiations on that day. And as part of the initiation ceremony, he gave a lecture. And in that lecture, he made a very amazing summary. He gave a very amazing summary, just in one sentence, about the position and glories of Srimati Radharani. And Srila Prabhupada said, Srimati Radharani is considered the best devotee of Krishna because she loves Krishna the most. So if you want to understand Radharani, this is all you need to know. She is considered the best devotee because she loves him, she loves Krishna the most. The most.
Yeah, transcendental.
Okay, I was going to come to that. So, before we start my presentation, I wanted us to be blessed with Srila Prabhupada with some words from a lecture that he gave, not on that same occasion in 1966, but some years later in London, I think it was 1971. It's also a Radhastami lecture, which we can play now. It's just a few minutes. We can play that lecture.
Yeah, transcendental. So our today prayer to Radha, we pray to Radharani because she is the pleasure potency of Krishna. Krishna means all attractive, but Radharani is so great that she attracts Krishna. Krishna is all attractive and she is attractive of Krishna. So what is the position of Srimati Radharani? We should try to understand this day and offer our obeisances to Radharani. Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamani Haripriya. Our business is Radharani, you are so dear to Krishna. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu and you are so dear to Krishna. So we offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamani Haripriya. Radharani is Haripriya, very dear to Krishna. So, if we approach Krishna through Radharani, through the mercy of Radharani, then it becomes very easy. If Radharani recommends that this devotee is very nice, then Krishna immediately accepts, however fool I may be. Because it is recommended by Radharani, Krishna accepts. Therefore in Vrindavan, you will find all the devotees, they are chanting more Radharani's name than Krishna. Wherever you will go, you will find the devotees are addressing Jai Radhe. You will find still in Vrindavan. They are glorifying Radharani. They are more interested worshipping Radharani. Because however fallen I may be, if somehow Radha, I can please Radharani, then it is very easy for me to understand Krishna. Otherwise, Manusanam sahasesi koschit jatati siddhaye jatatam api siddhyana koschit bhektiman tattva. If you go by the speculative process to understand Krishna, it will take many, many lives. But if you take devotional service, just try to please Radharani, and Krishna will be gotten very easily. Because Radharani can deliver Krishna. She is so great devotee, the emblem of Mahabharata. Even Krishna cannot understand what is Radharani's quality.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's wonderful listening to Srila Prabhupada, isn't it? His voice carries, it's pregnant with such conviction and realization that it's hard to look any other way. It's hard to look any other way. So we should make a point of listening to Srila Prabhupada very often. And I'll explain why shortly, especially when it comes to topics regarding Srimati Radharani, the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnana Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manohishtam Shtapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadakam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The identity and position of Srimati Radharani sometimes can be seen from a very sentimental perspective, and we can get all very mushy about it, and we chant Radharani's names, and we become we impose a sense of, it's nice, some happiness in our hearts. Coming to Radhastami Day, we get more enlivened than usual. But we have to be cautious that sentiment we are feeling is not being born of some mundane familiarity with someone who's very kind and soft and loving like Srimati Radharani. It is actually essential that we understand her position, not from a sentimental perspective, not seeing her, not trying to understand her from our mundane perspective, from a familiar perspective. Otherwise, as Srila Prabhupada constantly and repeatedly warned, this is a typical ISKCON temple. You have qualified as an ISKCON temple. Sorry about that. That's it.
Do me a favor, hold this for 1 second. But hold the phone as well.
Okay, let's test everyone's memory, maybe even mine too. What was I speaking about last? What was I speaking about last? Prabhupada's constant caution about how to approach Srimati Radharani. Yes, we must be very cautious. Because without sufficient time of purification and sadhana, and especially guidance, we can misunderstand Srimati Radharani. And we can start perceiving ourselves as part of her pastimes, part of her entourage in the groves of Vrindavan, dancing with her. And we can get misled like that, thinking we are suddenly on that platform. But it takes many years of sadhana and purification and guidance. These loving affairs of Radharani and Krishna, they should not be misunderstood or distorted by our mundane perspectives. Very, very important that we get that properly understood, at least today and tomorrow before entering the experience of what Radhastami is on Sunday. And the best way to do that is to approach the subject matter from the perspective and teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Prabhupada. And in that way, we'll find ourselves on very safe, stable ground in which to approach these topics. Krishna, we know, he is known as Leela Purushottama, that Supreme Lord who engages in the most sweet, loving pastimes, Leela Purushottama. Lord Ramachandra, he is known as, anybody knows? In regard to Leela Purushottama Krishna, Lord Ramachandra is known as Maryada Purushottama. That Purushottam, that Supreme Lord who establishes etiquette, behavior, Maryada. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is known as Prema Purushottama. That Supreme Personality of Godhead who teaches what love is. There was a song in the 80s, one of my favorite songs. I want to know what love is. Any 80s song people there? Can you remember it? I want to know what love is. I want to show. And it's true. It's true. We all want to know what love is, but we need someone to show us. It goes to show how much we need to purge our minds of all this stuff. So, Lord Chaitanya is teaching us about love. Not only is he teaching us by his words, he's teaching us by his example and his activities. What is love? And we toss this word around so easily. Love, love, love. You know, poets are writing about it, singers croon about it, and you know, every girl and every boy swoons at the whole concept of love. And you know, girls are wondering when Prince Charming is coming, and boys are wondering when. What would you say? What's opposite or the connection to Prince Charming? Anyway.
Could you say Cinderella?
Sleeping Beauty, you know, Cinderella. You know, is coming. And it never comes, right? It never comes for either one. It's just an illusion, a painful illusion that suddenly the bubble bursts. Right? So we always think we know what love is and we're going on about it. So today I thought, and like I said in the very beginning, what Prabhupada had said, that Srimati Radharani is considered the topmost devotee because she loves Krishna the most. So to get a glimpse today, let's try and pray for a fraction of a glimpse of trying to understand the love of Srimati Radharani. Let's try and figure out from the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as so wonderfully presented in truth, with clarity, without any deviation, presented by Srila Prabhupada. What is love? Anybody would like to know what is love? Love is not when your knees start shaking when you see this handsome boy or this pretty girl, you know, all that, you know, stuff. No. Those are all chemical reactions in the body, really. That's what it really is. But now we're talking about real love, how that manifests in Radharani's heart. And she manifests love to the highest degree. The highest. She's the pinnacle. She is the limit of love. But to understand her love, we need to now begin to develop love in our hearts. If I ask around the room, how many of you have love for Krishna? How many hands will go up? Some hands are going to go up. Actually, all hands should go up. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai. In the hearts of all living entities, pure love for Krishna rests there. Because we are all eternal, pure spirit souls. So pure spirit soul means there's love of Krishna. It's in our wiring. It's how we are made up, is with love for Krishna. But for all of us, it's very, very covered. So yes, we can say we love Krishna, but how are we manifesting our love for Krishna? In the case of Radharani, she loves Krishna, we know that, and she manifests it in the most amazing way. There is absolutely no tinge of any other motivation in Srimati Radharani when it comes to her loving Krishna. But in us, there's some motivation. And that's basically called contamination. It's adulterated in some way or the other. None of us can say, sorry, what are you talking, Prabhu? I have pure love for Krishna. If you have pure love for Krishna, what are you doing here? Just by hearing the name Radha, you'll be shivering and shaking and hair standing on end and fainting and perspiring. If we have pure love of Krishna. Isn't it? Mm-hmm. So yes, we have love, but it's very, very covered. Very, very covered. So, I'm going to go through some indications of what it means to have love, or what it means to love Krishna. And 5 or 6 indications we'll go through. And I hope that this will help me and you all to develop a desire to develop these indications, or to manifest these indications in our behavior, in our personality, in our activities, in our interactions with each other, so that we can better appreciate Srimati Radharani and approach her in that way. We don't want to be sentimental and vague about love. We want to be very clear about it. It's not some hazy, mystical, ethereal, cloudy concept. But through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, Srila Rupa Goswami's teachings as presented by Srila Prabhupada, it becomes very much clear, very much attainable, very much aspirational as well. This is what we must look for. So the first indicator of love that I want to present to you all is given in a verse from the Adi Leela in Chaitanya Charitamrita 6:53. Krishna premara eka apurva prabhava guru sama laguke karaya dhasya bhava. Translation. Love for Krishna has this one unique effect. It imbues superiors, equals, and inferiors, in other words, everyone, with the spirit of service to Lord Krishna. So the first indicator of love is that those who have love must have a spirit of seva. Not that, oh, I love Krishna, I love Krishna, I love Radha, I love Lord Chaitanya, I love everything about Krishna. Prabhuji, can you peel some potatoes? No, I'm too busy loving Krishna. Prabhuji, can you clean this floor? No, I'm too busy loving Krishna. That is not love. Love for Krishna means, first indication, you want to serve Krishna. You want to serve Krishna. If an opportunity for seva comes, yes, thank you so much. I get a chance to express my love. Love is not just an emotion, a chemical reaction in the body, rather. It's a verb. It's an activity. It's action. It's love in action. Means you want to serve. This is Srimati Radharani, thinking all the time, how can I serve? How can I serve? All the residents of Vrindavan, they are made up of the spirit of Seva Bhav. Of Seva Bhav. That's a nice name for a devotee in the future. I must tell one of the gurus, Seva Bhav. Seva Bhav Das or Seva Bhav Dasi? Which has a better? Seva Bhav Dasi.
Das.
Yeah, Dasi. Oh, Das, okay. So this is the foundational characteristic. The person wants to serve, is eager to serve. Like once, Srila Prabhupada's very dear servant and disciple, Shuddha Kirti Prabhu, who, by the way, I understand, will be visiting South Africa in October. Prabhupada's longest standing servant for over 2.5 or 3 years. Such a wonderful devotee. He's just like an encyclopedia of Prabhupada's stories. Please, when he comes, take full advantage. Drop everything. I will send you all sick notes from India. You can take off from school. Exams will be cancelled. Don't worry. Matric will postpone it to January. No worry. When Shruti Kirti Prabhu comes and his wife Vishaka, they're such a wonderful couple. Just hear from them as much as possible. I think they're coming for the 40th anniversary of Sri Sri Radharani's opening. So he once was with Prabhupada and they came to the airport coming from somewhere and he was noticing all the devotees just full of affection and happiness upon seeing Prabhupada jumping and dancing and crying in ecstasy seeing Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada had that effect whenever he arrived and people saw him, they were just completely mesmerized. And Shruti Kirti Prabhu was feeling, he was telling in his classes that I wasn't feeling the same way. I didn't have the same expression. Yet I'm with Prabhupada all the time. So that evening when he was alone with Prabhupada, he was expressing his disqualification. He was lamenting that, Srila Prabhupada, I see your disciples all over, they love you so much. And they are crying when they see you, they're dancing when they see you, but I don't have that feeling. I am so fallen. Why don't I love you? And Srila Prabhupada said, Shruti Kirti, do you like to serve me? And Shruti Kirti Prabhu said, oh yes, Srila Prabhupada, I love to be with you and serve you. He says, then you have love. Because love is shown by seva, by service. And the second indicator of love of Krishna is, also from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tare Balikam Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Prema Nam. The desire to gratify one's own senses is called kama or lust. But the desire to please the senses of Lord Krishna is called prema or love. So, when we are thinking of pleasing our own senses, gratifying our own senses, that is lust or kama. But when the desire is there to please Krishna, Krishna senses, that is called prema of love. So this second indicator of the love of Krishna is selflessness, not selfishness. Like in the material world, what is love between a boy and a girl, or a boy and a boy nowadays, or a girl and a girl, whatever nowadays? Oh, so-and-so, I love you so much. And the thing I love the most about you is how much pleasure you give me. Understand? You understand the corruption there? The contamination? What you love most about them is the fact that they please you so much. It's about you. It's not about the person that you love. It's about you. It's all about you. Yeah. But this is not love of Krishna. Love of Krishna is based on selflessness. Eager to do something for the beloved. Not trying to see what the beloved can do for you. And this is shown in such an amazing way in Vrindavan. Look how Krishna deals with them. Sometimes you wonder, why am I worshipping Krishna? Look how he deals with his devotees. He just leaves them. They're so attached to him, and he just leaves them, puts them in an ocean of desperation and separation. But how are they feeling? They never desert him. They never say, okay, I'm going to another god now. I'm leaving this Krishna. No. They focused on Krishna. They are selfless in every way. So first, the spirit of service. Then second, selflessness manifests. Selflessness manifests. As one advances in Krishna consciousness, as one's love for Krishna develops, then the devotee, you and I, will stop seeing the world with ourselves in the center. One of my very dear mentors, spiritual masters in my life, is Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu, often says this, that the living entity, the conditioned living entity, he's walking around the world in our daily activities as if he's about to make an announcement. Now y'all can consider whether this applies to you or not. I know it applies to me. He says they're walking around as if they just want to make an announcement. And the announcement is that, hey, everybody stop and listen. Do I have y'all's attention? I want y'all to know that I am the center of the universe. And all of y'all exist simply to give me pleasure. This is the nature of the thinking of a conditioned living entity. We cover it up with niceties and politeness and good words, but actually, in the core of that heart is sitting this contamination that I am the center. No, but as love of Krishna manifests slowly, you stop seeing the world with you in the center, but you see everything around Krishna, including you. You are there simply to point to Krishna. Not that, hey, point to me, here I am, hello, why aren't you looking at me? Why aren't there more garlands for me, Madhurya Bhakti? There should be more, only one garland you gave me. But that's how we can think sometimes. But that person got a nicer garland than me. I should have a bit. No, we think like that, unfortunately. Now you could go back in your consciousness and think, do I have this tendency? If I do, and we do, we must purge it out. We must purge it out. Because this is not the nature of Srimati Radharani. You cannot approach Srimati Radharani without the mood of seva and without the mood of selflessness. There's no chance of approaching her. So if we want to approach her, these first two things must be in place at the very minimum. Okay? So when love grows, selflessness grows. Selflessness grows. And the third indicator, are you okay to go further with these indicators? The third indicator is given in the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Pragada premera e svabhava achar, nija dukha vigna dhira nakare vichar. This is the natural result of intense love of God. The devotee does not consider personal inconveniences or impediments. In all circumstances, he or she wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So another indicator of love of God, developing love of God, is their steadiness. Not, today I'm just not feeling it. You wake up in the morning, I'm just not feeling it. I can take a break from my japa today, I'll catch up tomorrow. Or the deities, let them sleep today, get up so early and sleep. Maybe they should sleep too, not me. They'll understand if I don't have to feed them today. It's okay. No, steadiness. Steadiness is important. No matter if you got a flu, like a mother. Does the mother tell the little child, hey, you know what? Too tired today, legs are paining. You know, Uber Eats, order for yourself. No. The mother will never have that mood with the child. No matter what inconveniences are there, or no matter what challenges are there, the mother out of love and duty will do the necessary to serve the beloved, to serve her child. Now you take that many times, many millions of times more. That is the nature of Srimati Radharani. That is the nature. That should be our aspirational nature. And we will get tested, right? Every day of our lives we get tested in this, right? Are you going to serve Krishna, or are you going to succumb to your headache, or your backache, or your this ache? And you know what? There's going to be an ache. Every day there's going to be some ache, either directly on your body, or someone's going to ache you in some way, or some situation. Trump is going to put tariffs on you, and you're going to wonder, oh my God, what's happening so much more? This grapefruit costs. I don't know why I thought of grapefruit, but anyway, I hate that fruit. So there's always going to be an ache somehow or the other, but we must be consistent. We must be steady in our service to Krishna. That shows love. So many obstacles, impediments will come. But a devotee who's developing love will be very steady. Just like, what's a nice example? Even these impediments, even these impediments, we should welcome them in our lives. I mean, there is one great devotee who even prays for impediments. I'm not suggesting that we do that, but Queen Kunti, what does she say? Vipada Shantuta Shashva Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. That, my dear Lord, please send more and more calamities into my life. I mean, who prays like that? Normally if someone starts speaking like that, Prabhu, I know a nice therapist, you can go see them, Something wrong. No, but she's praying. Because she understands that by these impediments, who is always there with me whenever all these calamities came? Krishna was always there. Now that the battle is over, we won the kingdom, Yudhishthira is the emperor of the world, now Krishna is going to Dwaraka. What's going to happen? Better more calamities come because Krishna will stay. Just like a little flame. You've kindled a little flame, right? If our flame is very small and you open the window and a wind comes, what happens to the flame? It goes off. So we need to nurture our flame into something very big. That fire of love needs to grow like a forest fire. And what happens when wind comes to a forest fire? It becomes bigger, it rages stronger. So this wind is like impediments and obstacles. If our Krishna consciousness is not strong, any little wind, one flu will stop us. Somebody says something bad about us, oh, I'm leaving ISKCON. Thank you very much. Over and done. I came into the Mercy Namahatta Madhurya Bhakti Madhurya, didn't smile at me? No. Don't like that. I'm going, no. Even the slightest wind will blow our candle out. But that's because our bhakti is very weak. Very, very weak. So we need to grow our Krishna consciousness and become very steady. Okay? Forest fire, very strong. The fourth indicator of love, Hari Shabde Nanartha Duvi Mukyatama Sarva Mangala Hare Prema Diya Harimana. This is from the Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 24, verse 59. Although the word Hari has many different meanings, two of them are foremost. One meaning is that the Lord takes away all inauspicious things from his devotee. And the second meaning is that he attracts the mind by ecstatic love of God. So this is spontaneity. When someone is developing love for Krishna, their minds naturally go to Krishna. Naturally. Of course, in our state of sadhana, we have to practice every day, get up, bath, offer obeisances, chant Hare Krishna, do our sadhana, read every day, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, every day. But as love develops, as love manifests more and more, we spontaneously do it. It comes naturally. But at our stage, we force ourselves. We practice and force ourselves. For the residents of Vrindavan, thinking of Krishna is not an issue. Like when Uddhava, Krishna's emissary, was sent by Krishna to pacify the hearts of the residents of Vrindavan because of his long separation. So many years, decades of years went past. Krishna didn't go back to Vrindavan. And Uddhava was trying to pacify them, and he told them at one point, just try to think of Krishna. They said, you fool, what do you know? Telling Uddhava, Krishna's prime minister, you're such a fool. We can't stop thinking of Krishna. All we do is think of Krishna. Even if we try to stop thinking of Krishna, we can't do it. That's spontaneity. In Vrindavan, when Krishna is not there, he's in Dwarka or Mathura, the gopis would get together every morning and console each other and exchange what they dreamt the last night about Krishna. And they would exchange, information. Oh, I dreamt Krishna was with me, Krishna was doing this, Krishna was with the cows, Krishna was playing in this way. And then they turn to Radharani and they ask her, so Radharani, what did you dream about? And Radharani said, I didn't dream anything. You didn't dream? She says, I didn't dream because I couldn't fall asleep. I was only thinking of Krishna. So what to speak of dreaming? I can't even sleep. What to speak of dreaming? This is spontaneity. This comes with developing love for Krishna, like that. Rupa Goswami says a very beautiful verse. Yuvatinam yata yuni, yunam cha yuvato yata, mano bhiramate tadvan, mano me ramatem tvayi, ramatam tvayi. As the minds of young girls take pleasure in thinking of a young boy, and those of young boys take pleasure in thinking of a young girl, may my mind take pleasure in Krishna. Isn't that beautiful? We want to be spontaneous and natural with Krishna. And the fifth indicator of love of God, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Premera svabhava yanam premera sambandha Saimane Krishna Mora Nahi Prema Ganda. Wherever there is a relationship of love of Godhead, its natural symptom is that the devotee does not think himself a devotee. You got that? Instead, he always thinks that he has not even a drop of love for Krishna. In other words, when love is developing in the heart, there is humility. There is humility. Natural humility must manifest in someone who is developing love. If someone says they have love, then they must be humble. Right? They must be humble. It cannot be any other way. You have to be humble. Srila Sanatana Goswami, he says that a synonym means the similar word for love, for prema, is dainya, is humility. Both go together. And then another very, very important expression or indicator of love, at least in this material world, one of the most important indicators of love is compassion. When one has love for Krishna, then one naturally has compassion for all the living entities. It must be there. And how do we express compassion? We are so fortunate that in this movement, Srila Prabhupada established a system, a very systemized approach of developing love through compassion, especially through distributing the holy names of Krishna and distributing Srila Prabhupada's books and distributing Krishna Prasada. We have this facility in our movement to develop compassion. All we have to do is just show up and do it. That's all we have to do. So these are 6 indicators of love that are natural, that are practical, and that we can measure. Now it's not that we have to develop love and then humility develops, selflessness develops, spontaneity develops, seva develops, compassion develops. No. We do both through attentive chanting, through learning about the pastimes of Krishna, by serving the Vaishnavas, by purifying the heart. Yes, love develops, compassion develops, but by trying to be compassionate, by trying to be humble, by trying to develop the seva mood, love also develops. So it goes like, how do you say, one feeds into the other. It's not that let me sit here and when love manifests, I'll come and do seva. No. We do seva and love will manifest. As our love manifests, we want to do more seva. We had a very wonderful devotee. I was really missing him the other day at the prasadam table. He's Grace Swarup Prabhu. Anybody remembers Swarup Prabhu? What a wonderful, a very unique, interesting character. He had the slogan every now and then when he'd be walking through and he'd see some devotee sort of just relaxing. He would say, more service, more service, more service, in his very interesting, unique style and accent. More service, like that. So as our years go by in Krishna consciousness, let us use these 6 indicators as a way to measure how we are doing in Krishna consciousness. And then next Radhastami, day after tomorrow, or maybe the following Radhastami, we can go before Radharani and you pray to her that, my dear Radharani, I really tried my best over the last year. I tried to develop these 6 symptoms of love that you so fully manifest. And I'm offering whatever I've done over the last year at your lotus feet. I pray that this meager offering may attract your sidelong glance of mercy. You can pray to her like that. Not praying to her that, oh Radharani, I love you so much, I want to embrace you. No. We can't do that. This is what we have to do. So come Sunday when you come before the most beautiful, isn't she the most beautiful deity of Radharani in the whole world?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I really feel that. And I've been to many temples in the world. And I come back to our Radharani and I'm, wow, this is so amazing. But then, the devotees where I live now in Juhu, they'll say the same about their Radharani. The devotees in the manor will say the same about their deity of Radha. It's beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is in the eye of the servant. So when you come before Radharani, have this mood. Have this humble mood. Not that I'm your greatest lover. Just see me. No. Who are we? Who are we? But we can offer this meager attempt over the course of the next year at the lotus feet of Radharani. And that will please her so much. And one of the ways that we can... We have that video, that song and video. It's almost ready, right? We won't play it right now. I just want to say a couple of more things. Phew. It is getting late. But I thought to end with one story. People must have come here today thinking, oh, he's going to tell so many stories of Radharani with his songs. I'm sorry if I disappointed you. But one story I'll say. And I find the story very instructive. While it can be very entertaining, and I'm not here to sit to entertain you all. That is not my service for you all to entertain. The speaker's service is to hopefully purify his heart and to offer some inspiration to you all to turn your hearts more to Krishna. We are not entertainers. We are not here sit-down comics. Right? No, we're not for that. But this story, while entertaining, is very instructive. About Radharani's position and how much Krishna loves her and what Krishna will do for her, the extent he will go to serve Srimati Radharani. In Vrindavan, there's a wonderful saying, whatever Radharani does, Krishna likes. And whatever Radharani likes, Krishna does. So who's in charge? Actually, when you hear all of Srila Prabhupada's lectures on Radhastami, you'll see, generally, he'll speak 95% on the lecture about Krishna and Krishna's glories and Krishna's position and Krishna this and Krishna that. And at the end he says, and Krishna is the supreme controller, but he comes under the control of Radharani. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. That's how Prabhupada does most of his lectures. Most of his lectures he does like that. So Radharani is in control. And therefore she is known as Madan, Mohan, Mohini. That personality who was able to attract Krishna, who's the attractor of 1,000 Cupids. Who can deny the attraction of Cupid in this world? Anyone? No. He's the most attractive, but Krishna can attract Cupid. And who can attract Krishna? Srimati Radharani. So once Radha and Krishna, they were in the groves together in Vrindavan, enjoying each other's company. But Krishna noticed that Srimati Radharani was very morose, very saddened, and Krishna is trying to get it out of her. My dear beloved, what's making you so sad? And she was resisting. Then eventually, after much petitioning from Krishna, she says, actually, just before coming here this evening, I heard of a very nasty rumor that really broke my heart. You know what rumors are? Rumors are very destructive. Devotees actually should never, ever engage in rumor mongering. It's the worst thing that can destroy a community. La Mercy Namahatta should be known as the Nama-Hatta that doesn't tolerate rumors and gossip. There's only one type of rumors and gossip we must tolerate, and we must enjoy hearing. And those rumors are coming from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Did you hear how Krishna was stealing butter the other day? God, this child is insufferable. It's terrible that's the rumors we must talk about. But every other rumor we must not pay attention to. So anyway, Srimati Radharani, she was very disturbed by this rumor. And what was that rumor? She tells Krishna that it seems now that I have gained a reputation and have been given the name Krishna Kalankini. You know this word Kalankini in Hindi? It means a girl, a female of ill repute, who does like questionable things. Of all persons, who's got the name? Srimati Radharani. This rumor is going about because she's not being seen as a chaste woman. And she's saying, but how can I be unchaste? Of course, I've given everything to you on my life and soul. Of course, she's married to someone else, by the way, Abhimanyu. But she's saying, what's my fault? Brahma, Shiva, all the hosts of demigods, all universal controllers, they all want to surrender to you. They all want to worship you. I want to do the same, but I'm being criticized. How fair is that? How unfair is that? And I'm being given this name, Krishna Kalankini. And she was completely devastated. And she says, actually, I don't know what to do, save and accept. I think I should give up my life. This was the extent she was feeling, so distressed, so mortified by this woman. Because her pativrata, her chastity was being questioned. So Krishna, feeling very, very concerned, said, don't worry, my dear Radhe. I will sort this out very, very soon, and I will make sure that your pativrata, your chastity, your glories are established above anyone else. Anyway, they parted ways, and Krishna went back to Nandagram, and the next morning, he didn't wake up at the usual time. And Mother Yashoda comes into the room, and she tries to rouse him. He's not getting up. It's like he's unconscious. And she touched him, you know, mothers go, touch him. He has this really high burning fever. And he's unconscious and they don't know what to do. So the word spread around, call Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj spread the word around. Go quickly, get a Vaidya, get a doctor. Look around for the most qualified Vaidya. So everyone was like scurrying around Braj looking for a Vaidya. And it so happened. You know how it happened in Vrindavan? Things happen. You know? A Vaidya appears somewhere near Nandagram, very stately, professional, qualified looking Ayurvedic doctor with his books in his hand and his herbs in the other hand. And he's announcing to everybody, it just so happens, he starts announcing, I am the world's most famous Vaidya, anybody needs assistance, come to me. They say, oh, this Vaidya is here. They bring him to Nandagram, to Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. Whose Mother Yashoda, you can imagine, completely out of her mind in anxiety. So they're begging, they're falling at the feet of the Vaidya, please check what you can do with my Lala. So he checks his pulse, checks all the symptoms, and he says, oh boy, this is very serious. This is very, very serious. But luckily I came on time and I can cure this. But I need some help. I need one ingredient, anupan. I have the medicine, but I need this liquid, anupan, in which to mix my medicine, and otherwise it won't work. So how do we get this anupan? They're asking him, how do we get it? It says, actually, I need the most chaste lady in Braj to go down to the Jamuna river with this pot. He gave them a pot, special pot, and collect the water from the Jamuna and bring it back to me without spilling one drop of Yamuna water. I need that water. That is anupan that I need to mix my medicine in it. And what is the nature of the pot? It had 1,000 holes in it.
Yeah.
So 1,000 holes, what are we going? So anyway, as soon as they heard, the residents of Vrindavan, all the ladies said, oh, we're going to try, because that's the nature of Braj. Everybody is just willing to try anything and everything for the sake of Krishna's pleasure. For the sake of Krishna's pleasure. So one by one the gopis came, all the elder gopis came and they took the pot down to the Jamuna, put it into the water, and as they picked it up, all the water came out. Because there's 1,000 holes. So many tried, and all failed. Eventually, Radharani's mother-in-law and sister-in-law, anybody remember their names? Jatila and Kutila. Jatila because she's got a big jat. You know, jat? This like matted knot of hair going on. So Jatila, she's the mother. So she came strutting around there like very proud. I am the most chaste lady in all of Braj, and I will show this to everyone. Actually, incidentally, they started the whole rumor of Radharani being Kalankini. Right? They were very upset with Radharani because she's married to her son, the brother, Kutila's brother. But they all knew that Radharani is so loved by Krishna, so they kept insulting her and finding ways to discredit her. So she said, I will show everybody. Very proud bow she had. And she took the pot down to the river, and as she was immersing the pot, she fell into the river and just like completely like immersed herself. Like it was so embarrassing. You know, sometimes you see on YouTube videos people fall awkwardly in the rivers and pool. It was one of those ones. And everybody like holding their laugh and you know how comical it is. So they go, no, it's okay, Chaitanya, it's alright. We understand your position, but it's okay. You know, come on. So she came out very embarrassed. And Kutila, the daughter, said, I will show the world that I am the most chaste. And actually, if I can't do this, not even Parvati Gauri, Bhavani can do it. She made such a claim. So she had the same fate as her mother. She slipped and fell very comically. So now everything is like, what to do now? What to do? All is lost. Who's going to do this? And Mother Yashoda, out of extreme anxiety, said, okay, I will do it. If I have served my Pati Dev very sincerely, then this will show now. My chastity will save my lover. Now, as soon as she declared that she's going to get the water, that Vaidya, the doctor, started getting very nervous. Because, of course, Mother Yashoda is the most chaste lady. So then the Vaidya said, he piped in, he says, actually, there's one more condition. The mother of the patient cannot do this. So, what to do now? As they say in India, what to do? Don't know what to do. Huh? So then eventually they turned to the Vaidya, the doctor, and said, okay, you must know, is there someone in Vrindavan, in the whole of Vraja Mandala, that can perform this task? Please tell us. So he became very thoughtful in his thinking. Then he took his pages, he's doing some calculations, drawing all sorts of astrological designs, and they were wondering like, what is he up to? And eventually after a few minutes he said, actually there is one person who can do this. Is there someone in the village by the name of Radhika? Yes, Radharani, she is here. Mother Yashoda called her quickly. Please, you have to do this. Please save my Lala. And Radharani very tentatively, of course she was already traumatized, right, by all the rumors that were going around, but because she saw Krishna's condition, everything else was put away. All disappointments, all dejections was just far away. She just wanted to focus on helping Krishna get better. So she took the pot with 1,000 holes and very delicately went into the Jamuna, and all the while she's praying to Krishna. And as she looked into the river Jamuna, she sees Krishna's reflection, encouraging her, don't worry, I got this, kind of, message, I got this. So she put the pot into the river, she's looking at Krishna's reflection, Krishna's image in the water, and as she's picking out the pot with 1,000 holes, 1,000 fingers, Krishna's fingers come and closes all the holes.
Yeah.
Unseen to everyone else, only Radharani. And not a drop of water fell. And she carefully carried it to the Vaidya. The Vaidya took it, mixed his medication into that anupan, gave it to Krishna, and immediately Krishna was better. And then everyone could declare that Radharani is the most chaste female. So all this nonsense talk of her being Kalankini was completely eradicated. So this is Srimati Radharani and Krishna. This is the love that they share between each other. It is not mundane love. It is pure. It is the purest of pure love. And it is to that love that we pray to, we worship. And we pray that someday we may become qualified to offer some service to the devotees who are serving that love. You understand? Not that we serve that love, but we serve the devotees who are serving that love to bring Radha and Krishna together. So this coming Radhastami, day after tomorrow, I hope these inspirations, these information may help transform your heart to be more attuned with this holy occasion of Srimati Radharani's divine appearance in this world. And the seventh indicator, I gave 6 indicators, but the seventh, and to me, the most important, which helps me, I hope, develop all the other indicators of love. The seventh indicator is to somehow or the other become attached to a great devotee of Srimati Radharani. Get guidance from that personality. Live your life in such a way that it's dedicated to such a personality. And in our movement, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we can objectively be proud of this fact. Objectively, I'm saying the word, because sometimes any acharya of any movement, their devotees will say, my guru is the greatest devotee of Radharani. And that's, we honor that, we respect. But I'm saying objectively, we can declare that Srila Prabhupada, in modern times, is the greatest devotee of Srimati Radharani. Because What does it mean to be a devotee of Srimati Radharani? It means to give Radharani pleasure. And what gives Srimati Radharani the greatest pleasure is to introduce newer and newer servants into Krishna's seva. And who in modern times, actually in the history of the world, has introduced more conditioned souls to Srimati Radharani's service than Srila Prabhupada? Nobody. Therefore, I can objectively declare that Srila Prabhupada is the greatest servant of Srimati Radharani in modern times. So we're very fortunate. So if we can find it somehow to dedicate our lives to him, to his mission, to his seva, to his followers, each other, then we will attract Radharani's grace in such a powerful way, such an unmistakable way. So yeah, we can celebrate Srila Prabhupada as being the greatest lover of Krishna, the greatest lover of Radharani in our experience. So thank you all very much, and we'll conclude by one beautiful video expressing wonderful appreciation of Srila Prabhupada as the greatest lover of Krishna in this modern times. We may need to turn off some lights, or maybe it's okay. Hare Krishna.
He's a kind and gentle soul. His heart is never cold. So peaceful and poetic, with a message true and bold. He's never seeking praise, so silent and so brave. And his transcendental love is the magic in his ways. And when I see his love, I know I've got a long, long way to go. When will I taste the love that he is feeling inside? He's always making mild with a warm and friendly smile, so simple in his living, singing all the while. He sings out Krishna's name, his glory and his fame, to serve his Lord and Master, in pleasure or in pain. And when I see his love, I know I've got a long, long way to go. When will I taste the love that he is feeling inside? Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Radha Namahatta Radhastami ki Jai, Shri Radhastami Mahotsav ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai, Go Premanande Hare Krishna.
In every human being, there is Paramatma, Super Soul. Well, in every living entity, not just the human beings. There is Paramatma and Atma. At the time of death, what happens to the Super Soul? Well, definitely the Super Soul, like the soul, does not die. And the Super Soul continues to accompany the Jivatma, the spirit soul, to the next body. And it sits there, just waiting and looking and observing and witnessing. Upadrashtanamanta, he's Upadrashtanamanta, he's observing, he's witnessing, and he's permitting. Srila Prabhupada, or the Shastras, Srila Prabhupada explains, give a nice example of two birds sitting in the tree. One bird is simply there on one branch, viewing the activities of the other bird that's just fluttering around doing things. So it's like that. So at the time of our death, as we're taking a new body, Krishna as Paramatma, he accompanies the living entity to the next body. But when that time comes, when we go back home, when we perfect ourselves and go back to Krishna, then the Paramatma no longer accompanies us, because now we are in Shri Vrindavan Dham with Krishna. We do not have the need to have Krishna's expansion as the Paramatma with us in the spiritual world. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much to Swarup Prabhu for such an amazing class. And Prabhu has given us such a beautiful reminder of the mood to be in, to embrace and welcome this most auspicious day, Radhastami on Sunday. And not just Radhastami, but also a reminder to be the type of devotees that we should be aspiring to be every single day of our spiritual life. So thank you once again to Prabhu. Let's give Prabhu a round of applause. So I do know there are newcomers to our Nama-Hatta that we look forward to having them come to all our Nama-Hattas going forward, all the programs. And to the newcomers as well as anyone that's seated here, we have 3 Bhagavad Gitas on the altar. If there's anybody that would like a copy, please raise your hand and Swarup Prabhu will give it to you. Is there anybody that would like a copy? Don't feel shy, it's the Bhagavad Gita. Very auspicious indeed. Okay, if you would like a copy, you can see Madhurya Mataji or Mahaprasad Prabhu after the program and they will most happily share these copies with y'all. So thank you so much once again, Prabhu. And we do have some of our youth that are very excited and eager to share some poetry with y'all today. So we have Riala that has joined us for the first time at our Nama-Hatta, and she really loves poetry and she has written a poem especially for Srimati Radharani. So let's give her a lovely applause and welcome her. Riala is part of the Durban ISKCON youth group and she has a love for poetry.
Hare Krishna, everyone. My humble obeisances to all the devotees assembled here today. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I feel very unqualified speaking here today, but by the mercy of the devotees, I will try to share some words. On the occasion of Radhastami, we're trying to glorify the most confidential, the most compassionate, and the most beautiful personality, Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is Hladini Shakti, the pleasure-giving potency of Krishna. She's not just a great devotee of Krishna, she is devotion herself. If Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, then Srimati Radharani is the supreme giver, giver of love, of mercy, and of shelter. Sometimes as youth in today's world, we're searching for connection, we're searching for purpose. We're trying to understand what love really means. And when we come across the stories of Srimati Radharani, it touches something deep inside. Because her love for Krishna is not based on anything external. It's not selfish, it's not temporary, it's pure. Her love is so deep that Krishna himself says, I cannot repay you even in a lifetime of Brahma. That's that's the level of surrender, the level of heart she has. And that's what makes her so approachable. Srimati Radharani is not someone that's far away or inaccessible. She is the mother of bhakti, and she's always looking for souls to bring back to Krishna. That's if we are willing. She sees sincerity in the heart, not in external qualifications. And so in ISKCON, we are so fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has given us access to Srimati Radharani through the holy name, through seva, and through the Vaishnavas. When we chant Hare Krishna, Hare, the energy, this means Radha, we're literally crying out to her, please engage me in Krishna's service. I was asked to share how Srimati Radharani has impacted my life, so I've just prepared a short poem titled Her Glorious Glance. Our illusion proceeds to lose us in the cavity of a world undone, but we begin to regain sight once your holy name is sung. The canvas of devotion upon which we paint, you embrace every brushstroke, both strong and faint. With equal vision, you view those who give their art, because the beauty of worship lies not in the offering, but in the heart. To be from this world, but not of it, is a lesson to learn. Only by your glance upon us does our hearts begin to churn. How fortunate are those who know of your name, untangled by greed, anger, glory, or fame. Only by love can one understand that self, not by speculation, estimation, or the mind's quiet shelf. It is this love that makes us whole, the love that travels and knows every soul, the love that triumphs over duality, and the love that leads us toward possibility. I know nothing of surrender, but herein lies hope beyond adversity, because in your unbounded glory lies your causeless mercy. So, if we want shelter, real beauty, real purpose in life, Srimati Radharani is that shelter. She is Karunamai, full of compassion. And even if we try, in our small way, to serve her, to glorify her, to remember her, she opens doors to Krishna. So, on this Radhastami, let's try to pray for some intelligence to try to understand her mood and the sincerity to serve with heart. Jai Shri Radhe, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Riala, for such a beautiful poem. We have two more really enthusiastic youth that offered to write a poem as well, so I'd like to call Krishna and Priya forward.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you so much to Swarup Prabhu for such an enlightening class. Truly amazing. And as being Gopeshwari Mataji's daughter, I'm sure there's a lot of expectation on how I'm supposed to speak. I would humbly request you to please drop that because I'm really not that good. But devotees, I have a question, and I think it will change from each individual. But I would like an answer to this, please. Why are we here today? Just a devotee, please answer this question. Anybody?
To bring us closer to Krishna.
See, and even in Prabhu's class he mentioned that. So I'd like you to think about that as I recite to you this poem that I found. So this poem is entitled On Shri Radhastami. In the gardens of Vrindavan, beneath the blooming bowers, there shines a jewel of mercy, more fragrant than flowers. Shri Radharani, tender, pure, and divine, the crown of devotion, the queen of love's design. She is the heart of bhakti, the soul of every song, the reason for Krishna's flute that calls out for us to sing along. Without her glance so gentle, even Krishna himself is incomplete. For Radha's love is nectar, eternally sweet. To Govinda, she is life, his very guiding star. No victory, no joy is without her. She is his greatest worshipper, yet he only bows to her name. For love so selfless, so perfect, no words can ever frame. When Radha smiles, the Yamuna flows more bright. When she walks, the gopis dance. The forest fills with light. Her devotion is the key to unlocking Krishna's heart. Without Radha's love, his Leela would never start. On this day of her birth, we remember to love Krishna is through Radha, and to love Radha is to touch the very heart of Krishna. I also saw this on social media, and if you take Radha Krishna, if you take out the R, it's Radha Krishna, and that is exactly what Krishna is without Radharani. So, thank you, devotees.
Thank you very much, Krishna Priya. And one more of our youth that has very lovingly volunteered to write a poem, and that is Shama Priya. So come forward, Shama Priya.
Hare Krishna devotees. Firstly, everyone is not seeing double. We are exact twins. Thank you, Prabhu, for such a wonderful class. I think we all in always anticipation when we know Swarup Prabhu is giving a class. But I've always been deeply attracted to the story of when Radharani first took her first glance at Lord Krishna. So I would love to share a poem with everyone here tonight. On the golden morning of her appearance, the village of Vraja was filled with light. The cries of a newborn girl echoed throughout the palace of King Vrishabhanu, and the people gathered, marveling at her beauty. Her body glowed like molten gold, her face shone like a blossoming lotus, yet her eyes remained closed. Vrishabhanu Maharaj and Queen Kirtida trembled with both joy and sorrow. How could such perfection arrive and yet remain unseen of the world? The wisest brahmanas came, astrologers chanted mantras, but still her eyelids did not part. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, yet Radharani's eyes remained closed, as if waiting, as if yearning. Then one day, by divine arrangement, Nanda Maharaj arrived with his little son, the dark enchanting boy, his flute resting in his tiny hands, entered the palace, his anklets tinkling the song of eternity. Krishna, the crown jewel of Vrindavan, crawled toward the cradle where Radharani lay, and in that instant, as his eyes hovered above hers, her eyes opened. The first sight she ever beheld was the smiling face of Shyam Sundar. Her pupils widened, and her heart burst into waves of bliss, and the universe itself sighed in relief. This was not the meeting of two children. This was in fact the union of eternal souls. The villagers wept in joy. Vrishabhanu and Kirtida fell at the feet of Nanda and Yashoda, and the whole of Vraja celebrated. From that day on, Radharani's glance only belonged to Krishna. She had waited through lifetimes and timeless ages, through countless births, to open her eyes to him alone. Her vision was not of this world, it was love itself. Unending, unbroken, the eternal beginning of their divine pastimes in Vrindavan. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you to our very enthusiastic youth that offered to write these poems in honor of Srimati Radharani. So yes, as you would have noticed, there's delicious treats that have been made by all our lovely, talented Matajis that are part of our Nama-Hatta. So a very big thank you to each and every one of you for all these delicious, beautiful looking treats that are here. And before we get to that, I just have a few important announcements to make. It's a very spiritual weekend indeed. Tomorrow is the boat festival at the Shri Shri Radha Radhanath temple. The program starts at midday, and it is such a beautiful program that is planned. Many of you all have been to Shri Shri Radha Radhanath, and you all will know there's a beautiful moat there, and there's a boat festival that takes place every year. Also, His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami will be giving class tomorrow. So please try to avail yourselves and attend this beautiful program that's tomorrow. As well as Sunday, it is Radhastami, and Prabhu explained it so beautifully when he said that Janmashtami is actually the curtain raiser to an even more beautiful event, and that is Radhastami. So the new Jagannath Puri temple in Phoenix and Sri Sri Radha Radhanath are going to be having amazing programs on Sunday, so please do avail yourself for this. So generally our Mercy Namahatta has Nama-Hatta every 2 weeks, but next week we are also having Nama-Hatta, and we want you all to please join us once again next week, because we have His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami that will be attending, and we are looking forward to each and every one of you being with us again next week Friday. So thank you once again to each and every one of you that are here with us. It's so lovely to see all of you all make time. Every time we have a Nama-Hatta program, you all are here with us. So I'm now going to hand you all into the very capable hands of Kusamita Mataji, as she will continue the program with the cake cutting and the final conclusion of this evening's Nama-Hatta program. So let's give her a round of applause.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for your lecture. It was amazing as always. To all the wonderful devotees who have celebrated their birthdays in the past 2 weeks, a very happy birthday to you. And now we will have the cutting of the cake in celebration of Radhastami, and we will call His Grace to please do the honors of cutting the cake.
It's a knife, Devo.
Prabhu, there. We'll have the birthday song sung by the Kirtan, Vaishnavas.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol, Haribol. Srimati Radharani ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Om Premanande.
We will also have Nama-Hatta Prabhu to lead us into the final Kirtan, and His Grace will now perform Arti, followed by Guru Puja. That's flower petals offered to our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, we will have scrumptious prasadam. Hare Krishna.
So everyone say Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe. You all rise, please. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Prabhu